All right, you already know what time it is. Arthur Moats, joined right now by Mark Bergin, the WRAL Channel 5 producer in Raleigh, North Carolina. Time to recap the week 2 Pittsburgh Steelers Seattle Seahawks game. Obviously, Steelers taking the L 31-17, dropping to 1-1. Let's go ahead and get to it, man. How you feeling? How you feeling on this beautiful day, by the way?
Arthur, for the second time in as many weeks, we're talking about the outcome of a game for the Steelers being determined by special teams determining the outcome. So a week ago, it went in Pittsburgh's favor. Yesterday with Caleb Johnson, you've got to know the rules. I know he's a rookie. I know he's a young player, but that mental miscue, that's the big play of the game. And down 3 at that point in the fourth quarter, that is a huge mistake and one that ultimately cost the Steelers on Sunday.
Yeah, critical error. One of those things that, like you said, as a young player, you learn from it. It just sucks that your lesson had to be at home in front of all them fans and you being a big part of, the outcome. But at the same time, I always look and I say, man, for every, obstacle that you face, for every negative that does happen, it just gives you another opportunity to get it right, man, to overcome the adversity. And let's see how he responds. But yes, definitely one of those things where we saw special teams matters, and more importantly, the turnover battle. You lose a turnover battle, we know at this level, it just puts you at a competitive disadvantage when you're trying to win these games. And we saw that yesterday versus Seahawks team that I don't think, we had very high expectations for, but even that type of team can still win and win convincingly if you don't do what you're supposed to do.
Arthur, I want to go back to one thing, though, with Caleb Johnson. I'll be honest with you. I don't understand why he's on kick return. I just don't think that's a role that he should be playing in. You could go to the 4.640 and the lack of speed and explosiveness. That's one thing. I went back and actually, I've got his college stats in front of me right now. He didn't have any kick returns his final year at Iowa at 2020 in the 2024 season. He had 2 returns in 2023, 13 returns in the 2022 season. So this isn't even something he did in college. We saw him fumble last week. Now the Steelers recovered. We talked about, okay, what could get Caleb Johnson on the field? And we talked about ball security. We talked about pass blocking in terms of his abilities as a running back. Kick return, there's got to be another player on this roster. And I don't want to bench him for the sake of he made a terrible mental mistake, whether that's coaching or not. But it's more so, I just don't think that's in his skill sets of what he would be best at. And I know he has a little bit of college experience, but again, a season ago, his most productive year at Iowa, he didn't have any kick returns. So it's like, why the Steelers have him back there, I don't understand it, Arthur. I'm just going to put it out there. I do not understand why he is the Pittsburgh Steelers kick returner.
Great question. And let's talk about it. So a couple of things. Is Caleb Johnson RB1 definitively our best running back on the roster right now?
No, it's clearly Jalen Warren. Clearly Jalen Warren.
Is he definitively RB2 right now in terms of the guy that the Steelers trust the most? If it's not Jalen Warren out there, that's the guy they're saying, hey, we can't wait to put him out there.
No, and either, so right? when you get to the third spot, I'm with you.
So let me keep going.
You got to have a special teams role.
Yeah. So let's keep it going, right? Mm-hmm. So I get it. We say, man, he's never returned kicks. You know how many dudes play special teams that cover the kicks, that block on punt return, that block on kickoff return, that have never played a lick of special teams, not just in college, in their life? That's the majority of special teamers. Miles Killebrew, ask him how many punts he was protecting for in college. Ask him how many kickoff returns he was blocking for in college. The answer is none, because that's not what you typically do if you're the star player. But when you transition to this level, if you're not the starter, if you're not the definitive number 2, heck, we even said last year when it was Najee Harris, we all knew the definitive RB2 was Jalen Warren. So even though it was like, yeah, man, we don't have to have Jalen Warren do anything else. We know he's going to get his opportunities. You still saw where, hey, if you're not the starter, you still better bring value. And that was why he started returning kicks, right? So when I look at Caleb, I say, They're trying to give him opportunities to keep a helmet on because you're not running down on kickoff making tackles. I saw Peyton Wilson make a tackle. We talk about Ben Skronik being the special teams guy. Heck, even Kenneth Gainwell forced a fumble on special teams, right?
Mm-hmm.
So these are all guys that we're pointing to saying that they don't naturally do this, but they're bringing value to who they are. They're bringing worth. And it's like when you look at Caleb Johnson, I get it. You might not have a lot of experience returning kicks, but they're giving you this opportunity because they want to keep you in a helmet. They want to keep you dressed. They want to keep you a part of it. So you either figure out how to elevate your floor. And the simple fact is, you catching the ball, and the mindset is, as a big back like that, how many people want to tackle that if it's full speed? 4.6 at 220 is still rolling when it's in the open field on a kickoff return. So that's the mindset. I look at him and I think personally, he's overthinking it. He's tiptoeing in the sense of he's not running with bad intentions. He's running almost like, man, I don't want to get hit too hard. I don't want to make the mistake. And those are the things that negate what he should be thriving at in that position. Now, the simple mechanics of catching a punt, or excuse me, catching a kickoff, and then the simple understanding of the rules, I always say that's on both coach and player. Coaches, I already know Danny Smith has talked about this. Is the first thing he talks about to returners when you return. Why? Because I've been in those meetings. But the other part is, if he did not do it the right way, clearly it wasn't communicated well enough. And if you feel like it was, and you still put him out there, well, now you got to ask yourself, are you coaching this or are you allowing it to happen? And I don't want us to get to that stage too quickly with Caleb, but that's where it goes, and it goes in a hurry. You're either going to be allowing him to go out there on special teams and struggle, or you're going to figure out you can do this, or I'm going to get somebody else that can do it if you can't. And I think that that's kind of what we're feeling. Granted, it's only been 2 weeks, but when you have two big turnovers and one of them results in points that has a real bad impact on the game, this is kind of what you deal with.
When it's back-to-back weeks, if there's another mistake, Arthur, and that's where I don't want a player to play with trepidation at all. I hear you there. But then to play with that trepidation in fear of not making a mistake is what the fear is there. The point about Miles Killebrew, who's a Pro Bowl player, he's been an all-pro player as a special teamer. What I worry about that is the difference is he's not the return man. He's not the one who has to secure the ball and then pick up yardage. So, like, to me, that's the difference there. Oh, man, it's just cure Caleb Johnson, stay off social media this week. Arthur,
this is a part of it. You know how it goes. If you would have caught one of them and ran it back, you would be on social media retweeting, liking everything. You have a negative play, hey, it comes with the territory. And that's why we say as players, you can't get too high or too low. Cam Hayward, prime example. Everything leading up to this season, man, you're the golden boy, the poster child. You start arguing about your contract, people look at you very differently. It just is what it is. And that's why it's like for Caleb, man, you know what you have to do. You know what you've done to get to this level. You know what you've shown them in training camp. Otherwise, they're not even putting you out there. They're not putting him out there if they didn't feel like in training camp he was capable of this. Because otherwise, you're trying to lose. And nobody's trying to do that. That's how you get fired. Because they're going to look at that player and say, okay, well, he keeps getting put out there, so now it's a coaching issue. And if it's a coaching issue, that means Danny Smith, you're gone. If it's a coaching issue, that means Coach Tomlin, you're gone. Nobody wants to get fired. Trust me on that one. But you do want to give this young guy an opportunity because you can see some of the talent that he has. But it's just, you know, when you're young, this is kind of what you deal with. That up and down, the ebbs and flows of their development.
First time in more than 40 years, a kickoff for a team has scored a touchdown on a kickoff. And I was just like, of course, it's got to come in the home opener at Acrisure. We're all excited to see Aaron Rodgers in the black and gold in Pittsburgh. And clearly that didn't happen on Sunday.
At a terrible time, too. I'm like, okay, 17-14. I'm like, we about to respond. Let's get active, man. We feeling good. And it's like, no. No, that ain't just happened, man.
Where do you want to go from here? Because obviously that was the key play, but there are a lot of things that
I want to start with defense, actually, man, because this is back-to-back weeks now where, you know, we are leaving out of a stadium desiring more, leaving with more questions than answers.
You're so polite, Arthur. You are so polite.
So, yeah, that's where I want to start, man. Yeah. I'm not feeling the best about the interior part of our run defense. I think that still continues to show inconsistency. And it's not even as much as I would love to just say, oh, it's just this player. And as long as that player isn't doing it, we're great. It's like, no. I'm literally going down the list. It's the nose tackle. It's the 5 technique. It's the outside linebacker. It's the inside linebacker. It's the other outside linebacker. It's the other inside linebacker. And I'm just like, at this level, you are going to continue to get gashed. You're going to continue to give up 100+ yard rushing performances on a weekly basis if you cannot do the routine things. And those routine things are eyes, seeing what you're supposed to see, gap responsibility. You're not getting a sack on a run play. I'll say that again. You cannot get a sack on a run play. Okay? In your gap, D lineman. Why am I seeing all 6'5", 6'6", and 6'7" of you? You should not be playing your actual height. Because when you play your actual height, you get thrown out the club. No white shirts in the club. It looked like y'all had bad IDs and get up out of here. Move them. Those are issues. LBs. I thought at times my LBs was flashing. And then it's like, okay, was it the wrist injury? Then it was the rib injury. So I get it. But it definitely started to look tired. And I'm like, we can't do that. That was last year. We can't do that. And you look on that long 3rd and goal from the 19 and you're like, let's just rewind the play and just look at just watch the play 11 times in a row and look at everybody's.
How mad did that make you, Arthur? How mad did that make you?
You heard what I said. I said I had to watch the play 11 times in a row because I really wanted to see what each individual did. Who had great effort, who had questionable effort, who had great eyes, who was 3 blind mice, who whooped the man, and who was on the other end of that coin getting whooped. All of that on display on that play. I was disgusted with it because you could tell the Seahawks were playing give up ball. That was we're going to settle for the 3 points, take the field goal call. And you let them freaking score a touchdown. I'm just like, what are we watching? What are we watching? And that was the part where I was, like I said, really frustrated because it just felt like the accumulation of bad. It's like, man, effort, eyes, technique, not whooping a man when we always pride ourselves on winning one-on-ones. So when you see all of that transpire at one of the most critical points of the game, because think about it, if they can hold them to a field goal, you still have action. You still have everything you trying to hunt down. But by you allowing it to be a dang on a touchdown, it's like, oh, now it's gory. Now it's done. Now that's the headshot, the coup de grace. And here we are.
I'm trying to figure out back-to-back 30 points allowed. Did that twice all of last season. Trust me, the offense is going to get theirs too, Arthur. We'll get there. But 24-3 in the second half. Weeks, man. 24-3 in the second half. Arthur, a lot of the stuff. I mean, I could go through all these stats.
Now, remember though, one of them touchdowns that can't put it on all of them. Now, one of them won't, right? Or are you including that in there?
It's a collective, Arthur. Come on now, it's a collective.
With you.
Back-to-back 100 yards rushing, and we knew Jackson Smith, Najigba, and Cooper Kupp 8. It's just for the NFL's highest paid defense, you got to be shut down, lockdown. I haven't seen it back-to-back weeks now. I haven't. It's cause for concern, and there's plenty of criticism to go around with the offense as well. But a lot of the things that you're talking about, I mean, I saw a clip on social media where Walker runs free right behind his fullback, where it's the point of attack, A gap, B gap, where linebackers are getting blown up, defensive linemen are getting blown up at the point of attack.
It's one play you literally see fullback meets our LB in the hole, and this is what we pride ourselves on. If you play LB in Pittsburgh, you can't play a fullback versus us because we're murdering that fullback on the way to getting that running back. That's the mindset. That's the mentality. So when you're watching these fullbacks and we're like, bro, you ain't even like a special fullback. You're just a fullback. We ain't talking like, oh, you one of the ones. Like, you're just a guy. And you're watching that win in the hole. And Kenneth is just running. You're just like, bro, this is not what we do here in Pittsburgh, man. Like, I understand the game is evolving and you do, have more athletic, rangy guys, but we still have to remember the roots of linebacker. We stop the run first. You know what I mean? So it's like we can't lose sight of that. And in a game like yesterday where you saw, I mean, shoot, if you watch Seattle in week 1, you know Seattle wants to run the football. They're going to play a fullback, 21 personnel. They'll use 2 running backs, 2 tight ends, 22 they do not care. That's what they want to do. So why are you surprised? That's the frustrating part. It's like, who you're watching, the personnel. Why are we surprised by this? But that's the thing where if you're the apologist, you say, bad performance, it's 1 week, time to bounce back next week, man, get it right. But if you're on the other side, you're like, this is back-to-back weeks now where we're looking at guys rushing for over 100 plus yards and us truly looking like we don't have an answer. That's the discouraging part. Because we can do man, you should cut that guy, take him off the field. Then we started talking about the alternatives, and it's like, well, a little iffy. And here we are.
When the running backs are getting to the second and third level of the defense before they're even touched or before they have to make a cut, that is where my concern is, Arthur, of getting push up front to be able to force the back to bounce or cut to a different hole or to juke a different way or to change his momentum. And that is the point of concern that I have, where getting to the level of the linebackers, getting to the corners of the safeties, to where running backs at full speed and hasn't even been touched to that point. That is where I'm like, and look, before we started our partnership, Arthur, I worked with Ike Taylor, and it was like, hey, good luck against the Steelers defense rushing for 100 yards. And if by chance you happen to do that the next week, that's not happening again.
He's getting there. The next week, dude's getting done bad.
So it's got to get fixed, and it's got to get fixed quickly, because for the amount of money that this team is allocated to that side of the football. Okay, well, you talk about the complementary football piece. Right now, through 2 weeks, I think Aaron Rodgers is being asked to do way too much for this team right now. Way too much. And it's not that he's not capable of, but at his advanced age, I don't want it to be like, okay, we need Rodgers to throw 4 touchdown passes just for us to squeak by to win the game.
Yeah, that's the perspective that I have on it as well. When we talk about highest paid defense, and then specifically the areas of the defense where the money is allocated, we should be seeing better return on investment. We should be seeing no 100-yard rushes, but we also should be seeing hostile environment. And I don't
Hang on, Arthur, what do you mean by that? What do you mean by that?
So hostile environment is this: when you are dropping back to throw the ball, regardless if you're getting sacked, hit, pressured, hurried, never feeling comfortable where you could just stand back there, pat the ball, double moves down the grass. You look at some of these elongated, deep over routes that you saw Jackson Smith and Jigba running. Those type of concepts, those happen when there is not a hostile environment, when the quarterback feels cool, calm, and collected. Hey, man, he's back there ordering takeout while reading the paper. That's what I'm referring to. So when you talk about where our resources are allocated, right, we look at our pass rushers, TJ, Cam. Heck, we look at the draft capital that we've put up in there, right? Herbig, Sawyer, who I thought both of those dudes made plays as well. It was good to see that. But to me, it wasn't this environment like we're accustomed to, where every time that quarterback is dropping back, he's hurried. He's not able to just sit back there, find his spot, go through his progressions. Thought that Sam Darnold was a little bit too comfortable out there. But when you can't stop the run, this is what happens, because now it's third and manageable. So you got to play a little bit of everything, or you're picking and choosing. All right, am I going to try to, go for a sack, even though it's 1st and 10, because I know I haven't really had a clean rush just yet. And now you're messing up everything on top of that. To me, that's what I'm speaking of when I say that hostile environment. When you pay what we're paying on front, that should be the case. And it shouldn't need to happen off of blitzing either. We know we can do blitzing, but we pay these dudes up front to not blitz. We pay them dudes up front to win those one-on-ones and do it consistently. That's what I'm still waiting on right now.
I want to see someone other than TJ or Jalen Ramsey make a play.
Yeah.
Consistently. And you know what? I'm going to rephrase what I about just said. Not just make a play, make plays.
Splash.
Plays.
I want splash.
But plural. but plural, because we saw Jack Sawyer get a sack when Seattle's literally triple teaming TJ Watt. And there are some people, well, TJ Watt doesn't have a sack in 6 games. Well, if he's being triple teamed, someone else has to eat. Someone else has to take advantage. Alex Highsmith leaving the game with an injury. We saw a sack from him a week ago. Great. Herbig, seeing him back. Now the Steelers are going to need to rely on him. Had the interception off the tip pass from Cam Hayward. I thought that was a really nice play. To take advantage and to flip the field and the takeaway and the turnover battle, it can't be a bend but don't break. It has to be a smash mouth defense for what you're paying this defense. It has to be.
We're paying for dominance. We're not paying for average. We're not paying for this is really good. We're paying for dominance. So that's my expectation. We know in terms of a defense, man, we say 3 sacks, 17 points allowed is the minimum. Less than 80 rushing yards, really want 70 or less. But it's like that's just the basis of a good defense, not the highest paid defense. Highest paid defense, we're like, I want 3 to 5 sacks, mandatory. Hey, man, that should be 13 or less points, mandatory. 70, 40, maybe even 50 yards rushing. Like, we know where we're supposed to be at in terms of that level of dominance, because if the NFL has shifted to what we would all agree is a scoring, it's offense-based, pass-first league, and we're zigging while everybody else is zagging, if the results aren't happening, that's where you really just start to question the intent in terms of why are we allocating resources the way they were allocating them. Now, granted, that's bigger question than long-term decisions, but that's why we feel how we feel. Because these first 2 weeks is like, you're telling us the side that has all the money needs to be carried by the side that doesn't have the money and has more of the youth and some of the question marks. That doesn't sit well with a lot of us.
395 yards allowed defensively, and then offensively you get 267 yards. Come on now. Come on now. Do you want to go to the offensive side of the ball? Because I got one thing that
Let's do it, man.
All right. Fourth quarter, it's 14-14. 4th down and 1 at midfield. If you want to win a game like this, I say go for it. Like to punt it downfield, I understand you're playing field position, but how modern NFL is played, I think the Steelers got to go for it there. I really think that could have, because look, if you don't get it, maybe you lose anyways, but if you do get it, you keep your offense on the field, maybe you go down and at least get 3. But midfield at that point in the game, if you don't trust your offense to get a yard, to me, that's a bigger it's a bigger problem than just what individual play would be on a 4th and 1. It was 4th and 1. I think you got to I think you got to be the aggressor there.
Yeah, I think that's one of those things that we all like the idea of being aggressive and going for it. At the same time, as a defensive dude, I can understand you play the field position, you're going to make them punt, and you can get off the field. We obviously know the sequence of it. That was when they actually ended up getting the field goal. But then the problem was this. The Caleb Johnson play happened.
Yep.
So you never get a chance to see how it plays out, because traditionally the reason why you don't see Coach Tomlin do the going for it on 4th and 1 is because the probability of you consistently hitting that outside of the Eagles, we don't see teams have just
too.
Right.
Washington.
Well, throw them in there, right? But outside of that, it's like you don't see it as consistent, and we've been the benefactor of that how many times? All right, let them go forward on 4th and 1. Hey, they're at midfield. Analytics say they should. And then when they don't get it, we see how it works out. And that's why we win the amount of games that we win. And it's like, it's this weird nastiness that is like, ew, this shouldn't reflect success like that, because it's almost like you're playing not to lose in that sense. But it does, in terms of the track record, it's like, it wins way more when those are the decisions that are made. So as much as I wanted him to go for it as well, it's like, I understand if that's who he's been, why that is. But the problem is, when you take that approach, this is the negative. You have to be perfect. You have to play with, this super small margin for error. And unfortunately, you have on literally the next series, the error, the special teams, and not just a turnover, right? Because if you don't get it on 4th and 1, it's turnover. You still get a chance for your defense to come out there. Heck, if you throw an interception, you still get a chance for your defense to come out there. Problem was, Caleb Johnson, when he, doesn't go out there and actually need the ball and down it, it resulted in 7 points. Last week when Caleb Johnson fumbled, remember, they stopped him. No points. Everything was good. No harm, no foul. So sometimes it's literally just, give us a chance to defend it. But when this happens, it's like, man, it just makes everything more amplified. And that's the part where, we look back at all of these decisions and we're a lot more hypercritical of them, and rightfully so. But I look at that, not just the decision for the 4th-and-1, look at what literally happened the next series after. And it's just like, it was a chain reaction, so to speak.
And this is the chicken and the egg debate that we
You
have
know.
of what we're talking about of, say you don't get it on 4th-and-1, you expect your highest paid defense to shut it down and force a 3-and-out.
Yeah.
And that wasn't happening either.
Right. But you can see his trust. He trusts them, though. It's like, y'all might not have had to stop yet, but I know I'm going to get this stop here. So let's go ahead and punt this ball. And even with them having the explosive play, you're like, they still going to hold them. It's just field goal. And it was like, all right, I got it. I don't like this. I don't agree with the play. I see it. I see the vision. And then you get turnover touchdown.
I think Rodgers is being asked to do way too much. 3.4 yards a carry, 21 carries, 72 yards. Jaylen Warren's not the issue because we see what he can do in the open field. He consistently makes the man miss if you at least give him a little bit of space, Arthur, whether he's hurdling over dudes or the 60-plus yarder he had off a reception. Yeah. I think Rodgers is having to do way too much, and it goes back to, okay, A gap, B gap that we talk about on defense with the caveat, Derek Carman's not there. On offense, of all of the draft picks that you've invested on this young line, and I understand it takes time to develop and the continuity, but the talent, like Arthur, when I think of first-round talent, whether we're talking about Broderick Jones, we're talking about Fautano at your 2 tackles, a second-round pick in Frazier, the veteran with Isaac Seumalo, got to get more of a push up front. The running game has to be better. And, if this is what we're going to get out of the running game for the full season, you're going to get average to mediocre to bad results because Rodgers has had to do too much through 2 weeks. It's just the truth. I think he's done well at times. He could still see if they can keep him upright. He's talented at throwing the football. But to say, unless Aaron Rodgers throws 4 touchdowns in a game that we're even going to be competitive, it's not going to cut it. It is not going to cut it. 3 points in one half of football is not going to cut it, Arthur. It's not going to. The running game has to get going because then the running game is going to set up play action, which is what Arthur Smith wants to do with this offense.
1,000%. I mean, you hit it right on the head. I would also say this, though. This is, to me, part of what you're missing with Najee. We talk about why Jaylen Warren shines the way that he shines.
There's going to be so many people mad, Arthur. I don't mean, there's going to be so many people mad you saying that, but it's
I get it. It's the truth, though.
It's true.
Because this was the thing. We said one is more of the bruiser, the guy that you just slam into that A and B gap, hit your head against the brick wall. But at the end, we're like, how did he get 1,000 yards out of this? Right? And we would just say, hey, because this is what Najee does. He's always falling forward. He's always going to get there. Trust me on this one. We go with, obviously, the smaller backs now, right? Jaylen Warren, Kenneth Gainwell. We can't even get the opportunity to use the bigger back that we said we drafted because he's Najee Harris-esque, because he can't graduate from special teams yet. And Caleb Johnson, we're over here having legitimate conversations about, is he going to have a helmet in 2 weeks, right? Because you're one more mistake away from that being the conversation. You're over here in street clothes. So when I look at our personnel, I'm like, once again, even if the O-line is giving you just what it gave you a year or 2 years ago, I'm like, we don't have the big bruiser back that's even doing that. So stylistically, it's going to feel off. It's going to feel less than. And I feel like every time we're running these rocks right now or running a rock and I'm looking at little back or another little back try to run in between the tackles, I'm like, yo, this is cool. But that doesn't hit the same when, hey, man, we preparing for Najee because Najee's the big back. Oh, all right, little back out here. Is it pass? Oh, shoot, he actually ran the ball. Oh, caught us off guard. You lose that element when it's always little back. Now it's, you run in here if you want to. This is 1st and 10. This is run down. You're not surprising us anymore. That I do feel like is what we're experiencing. And once again, because you can't even get to the Caleb Johnson element of it to even get him on the field, you don't even have the big body to punch back. It's no, I mean, you can watch a little fighter versus a bigger fighter, right? I know Bud Crawford and Canelo was this weekend, and it was like, whoa, man, the little fighter actually can hit with the big guy. But typically, the little guy doesn't have as much power as the big guy. And it's like, man, that little guy could throw everything he want. He could be as fast as one, could be as electric. But it's like, yo, you don't have the size to deal with that. Whereas that bigger body, it just weighs on you. It's different when you got it, when you're wearing that. When that Caleb Johnson dipping that head on you or Najee finishing on you, it's like, yo, that adds up. And right now, we don't have that. So what have we seen, right? We see the quick passing game to the perimeter. We see them try to do quick tosses, right? To get Caleb, to get, to get Kenneth Gainwell, to get Jalen Warren the ball on the perimeter where we feel like they should shine. And we saw where Jalen Warren did make plays. But you could just feel where that doesn't feel like a consistent method to produce that way. It was almost like, I don't want to say we kind of backdoored into it, but it didn't feel like it. We could just call that whenever we want to call that, because if we could, we would. And that's the part where I look at the O-line, I'm like, yeah, you're a part of it, but I also feel like that running back personnel is also a part of it. And we're still trying to figure out how we want to marry the two concepts right now.
And this is coming from a linebacker, 9 years experience, where Arthur, what I hear there is the difference when you're talking A, B, C gap, the difference between a player 180, 190, maybe 200 pounds soaking wet compared to, let's say, Najee, 220 plus, just depending on the year, 220 plus. So that and difference in size.
Yeah. A dude can be fast and explosive.
Yeah.
Yeah. Fast and explosive still is scary. It still hurts. But that doesn't feel the same as what you just talked about, the size difference when you talk Najee Harris. It's like, yo, that hits different. It weighs different. The mental element is all of that is a part of it. But when we get so enamored with one part of what a person doesn't have, it's like we're turning a blind eye to everything that player does kind of present. And I think that that's kind of what we did with the whole Najee thing, and rightfully so, because we had expectations. And when we want certain things and the expectations don't match it, we get it. People get upset and it gets disgruntled, and you hear the arguments, or at least the rumblings of it. But to me, there is a reason why Najee was the main dude even when Warren was here. It's because of that part. Now we're going to see, can Jalen figure out ways to overcome that, or can O-line figure out ways to elevate? But one of the two have to happen. Otherwise, we're about to have a third week of that running game looking like I was been looking, because I don't see enough reason to believe why that's going to naturally just change this upcoming game.
Yeah, I just think Rodgers is having to do way too much to where he's having to play almost perfect for your team to stand a chance through 2 weeks. The interception he threw. Well, actually, hang on. I'll keep this glass half full because we have enough negative, but I'll get to the interception. The sequence where Herbig got the interception, the Steelers go down.
Shout out to Cam. Yeah.
I really liked the jump ball that they threw to DK, getting a touchdown against his former team. I thought they should have tried to get him the ball a bit more. On the 2-point conversion and throwing it up to Darnell Washington, if you listen to what Aaron Rodgers says, he talked about Washington as a red zone target and being able to throw it up to the big body, where it's like, good luck trying to get your position for his size and just how big he is. Yeah. I thought that was awesome. But then I'm like, if it worked so well in the red zone the one time, why do the Steelers feel the need to switch it up? Like, make them stop that versus trying to find Pat Freiermuth later on in the game. And I know Aaron Rodgers was not happy with Calvin Austin because you had two receivers greedy, in the same area. Yeah.
And you can see at this level the details, man. It's the details. That's what Rodgers, when you see Rodgers pissed, it's a detail thing. And for him, he understands what it takes to, be at the pinnacle. He understands as an individual and as a team, because he's done both, right? Super Bowl champion, 4-time league MVP.
I don't know what happened there. We're back here though.
There it is.
I think you might need to flip us, but apologies.
Yeah, I just got it. I'm about to say. Oh yeah, no worries. We are good, baby. We are good.
The browser literally just crashed, and it was like,
and like I was talking, I was like, oh, I think he left me, man.
No,
but he back down. He's back down. So all good.
But we were talking about, all right, so let's pick this up. Like the interception Rodgers threw.
Yeah,
it looked like it was intended for Freiermuth, but then Calvin Austin III was in the same vicinity. Rodgers wasn't happy about it.
Mm-hmm.
I understand the play kind of broke down, but you can't have two receivers running the same route because you're going to throw a pick, like, which is exactly what happened.
Yeah.
You got to come away with points there. Like, straight up, you've got to be able to at least be able to kick a field goal in that situation.
Yeah. So when we're talking about how the Steelers lose this game, when we're talking about how the Steelers allowed the points and why they didn't score, it's like you look at all of the little things that transpire over the course. This is how you get beat. When you have turnovers, but specifically turnovers that result in points being scored, or in both cases, or at least in that case, points being taken off the board, 7 or a field goal, all of that adds up. And once again, at this level, it doesn't matter who the opponent is. You still have to play a clean game or as close to it as possible because, heck, even all things fair, right? Everybody play your best game. Vegas had the spread as what? Not even 3 points. It's 2.5 points. So Vegas is on top of this telling you, hey, if you guys play your absolute best game today and they play their absolute best game, it's only a 3-point difference realistically between these two teams. So when we throw in all of the other little additions, or in our case, subtractions, here we are.
Yeah, I shout out to Boswell, who made his field goals on Sunday. He's continued to be reliable. The one thing, too, we're talking about with the running game, too, Arthur, the play, this was in the third quarter. I think it was the first drive in the third quarter. The play action fake Rodgers had where he got multiple Seahawks defenders.
DeMarcus Lawrence still looking for him. Like, yo, you really ain't had that ball off? A magician.
Oh, man. Then that's where the gamesmanship and the veteran experience Rodgers brings to the table. There was that play. They had another play on the touchdown drive where they had a free play due to Rodgers' cadence and getting the defense to jump and getting a free play. I worry that you're going to have an over-reliance on that. And so you got to see some of these other playmakers make plays. Running game, passing game, other than DK. Go ahead, Arthur.
But let me get in here real quick because I know we're focusing on all of the skilled players, and when they play well, we feel great. When they don't play well, we're over here talking about them. But how about the fact that the offensive line looked better pass protecting this week than they did last week? Can we talk about that? Last week we were over here like, man, Broderick Jones, you cannot put on the field. That was the sentiment for a lot of people. We look at the sacks that Rodgers took. Heck, one of them, it's like, yo, you got plenty of time back there. You hold it, yeah. For me, when I see that part, I'm like, you know what? That gives me a little bit more confidence. That lets me know that, hey, we figure out the run game. We got to figure that out. We know we got to figure out this defense part. But protection-wise, this week was a step in the right direction. Because last week, we would agree, yeah, Roger, you got hit a little bit too much. Hey, man, you was kind of put a little bit too much pressure. You were getting the protection that got beat. It got beat too quickly. And, we broke it down. It's like, yo, it's a bad matchup in some of them scenarios. But this week, I do feel like those guys played better. Still wasn't perfect. We saw Rodgers obviously get hit a couple of times. But to me, I'm like, yo, that is where we can find some type of, hey, Roger, you got a little bit of hope right here, man.
I worry about just the wear and tear on a 41-year-old. That's because other than Brady, we haven't seen a quarterback north of 40 play at a high level, high level for a whole year. And I'm not saying a one-off of a whole year.
No, Brady's the guy, right? Outside of Brady,
he's fooled all of us into believing anyone can do it. The wear and tear on Rodgers is what I worry about because the Steelers are asking him to do too much right now. I can just say that. And so with the offensive line, yes, I mean, a week ago, you're going up against a ton of former first-round draft picks in the Jets. Okay, so you get the passing game a little bit more right this past week, but the running game's got to get going. And yet again, the Steelers lose on TOP, time of possession again. It wasn't as lopsided as we saw in week 1, but you still lose in that capacity. This is, and see, the running game is not just to protect Rodgers, Arthur. It's also to keep your defense off the field. So it's
all of it goes together, baby.
Yeah.
Heck yeah. And that's the beauty of this thing, though, man. That's the beauty of it. So, shoot, for me, man, when I look at them, I say, we know what they did wrong. We saw some of the stuff they did right. Now it's all about what you're going to do this upcoming week. Because if you dwell on it, if you just, all right, bury your head in the sand, it's not going to get any better. You know what to expect going forward. But this is the part where you see, okay, how some of those players respond to this, man. Caleb Johnson, how does he respond to this adversity, right? DK, we talk about wanting to get DK the ball more, but we've also seen 2 weeks now where he's also had multiple drops. So that's the other part where I look at DK and it's like, hey, we know you can be better, so be better. That's just the reality of it. The same way we're going to look at this running game and say, we know that you guys are capable of being better in terms of at least the O-line, giving these dudes more running room, right? We could get to the fact that they're smaller, but give them more room. Give them a little bit more. I don't think that's too much of a as when you say a first round, second round, high end, second and third time contract, and then still a fourth round pick as your weak man, or you know what I mean, the least amount of draft capital. It's like, yeah, man, I don't think we're asking for too much. I don't think we're expecting too much. Now, we could talk, all right, first week it was Quinnen Williams. This week it was Leonard Williams, and that's all well and good. But guess what? It's the NFL, man. Everybody's going to have somebody good. Everybody's going to have somebody that names, you're going to like, hey, man, you know, I've heard of that guy before. It does not matter. DeMarcus Lawrence is a former dude that's had 14, was it double-digit sack, multiple double-digit sack seasons. We weren't over here yesterday like, hey, man, because he's done that. Troy, Broderick. No, it was like, bro, go block this dude. So when I look at the interior part of that O-line with the running game specifically, it's like, man, we do not care about the dudes and their names. You still have to make your, earn your keep. Be the productive player that we know you are capable of being, man.
It's the draft capital, but Arthur, with the running game too, you're talking about the difference in the style of running back that Najee Harris brings compared to Jaylen Warren or Kenneth Gainwell. When your long run in the game yesterday was 13 yards, and what was it in week one? If it was anything more than, I know they didn't have more than a 20-yard rush in week one. I can look that up. I don't have that box score right in front of me. But if you're going to have smaller backs and you're talking about more quickness, more explosiveness, you got to have those chunk plays. If you're not going to be able to pick up 4, 5, 6 yards at a time between the tackles. Yeah. So that's another component of that of, okay, can we have a rush longer than 13 yards next week against the Patriots? That's what I'm looking at with this running game, because Jaylen Warren's not going to just magically grow into Najee Harris. They're two totally different style running backs.
Yeah, I'm with you, man. I'm with you. Whew. On a lighter note, though, shout out to Corliss Waitman. All right. Shout out to the punting game. Punting game still look good. Special teams, yo. Outside of this day going turnover on the wrong side of, I was like, yo, they was halfway all right. So shout out to Corliss Waitman. Other than that, man, I don't have any other thing, man.
I worry about him out kicking his coverage if I'm going glass half empty. But let me see. Okay. I see if I have a few other things in my notes. The catch and run with Jaylen Warren, I love when he hurdles over a dude in your I've been at the stadium when he's done that. The place goes crazy. So that was fun to see. I want to see that in the running game, though, not him. I know he can catch the ball out of the backfield where it's on a running play where he gets some space. And I just feel like he's been bottled up. We mentioned going forward on fourth down. I just think, but the 3 points in the second half, too, it's just like,
it's bad, Ben. It's bad.
It's the complimentary football. It's such a cliche, though, but it goes back to where it's like, okay, I think that they should go for it. They don't. If Caleb Johnson doesn't fumble, how different this conversation is today.
Right.
The Steelers just go down and even tie it. What is it?
Right. What we have seen, what could have been. Because I do think if that changes in terms of just the no turnover, I want to see, I think it's a different outcome. I think the aggressiveness, I think the way that we're playing, but I also think just even the turnover at the end. It's like, man, he's not throwing that aggressive, ultra aggressive throw in that scenario. If we not down the way that we are at that point.
I don't mind that. Think about how many players just stat pad there because the outcome of the game is likely over. Play to the echo of the whistle. And I don't mind that of at least trying to take a shot to try to give your team a chance.
You
that's
being
where,
aggressive.
not all interceptions are created equal or a third. So like that at the end, don't mind that at all because you're at least trying to give your team a chance to win the game. I don't mind that at all. I don't.
Yeah. Look, I'm with you on it, but we also know everybody doesn't take that approach. A lot more people take the approach of what do the numbers and the numbers say? And the numbers exclusively say you're just like context does matter. So it is refreshing to hear that is something that you also share.
Do you think that so how the Steelers have used Caleb Johnson on special teams, could he just flip roles with Kenneth Gainwell if he's going to provide something a little bit different as a running back? And then Gainwell could take on those special teams responsibilities in the return game. That would be, to me, a potential solution.
If the Steelers trusted Caleb Johnson more than Kenneth Gainwell, I think yes. But I also think if that was the case, you would have already seen that too. When we're talking about just the ball security, when you're talking about everything that they feel confident with Kenneth, that's why they've been playing him as much as they've been playing him early on. I think with Caleb, they have their concerns for, whatever those personal reasons are. Maybe they see that, okay, it's been multiple times where he doesn't know where to go, or it's been multiple times where he's had ball security issues in the practice setting. That's the stuff that we necessarily aren't privy to, but I have those questions when it's like how we are right now. Hey, the biggest back, the guy that we drafted, why isn't he playing? Why isn't he getting some of those runs? Heck, when me and you talked week 1, I said to you, man, I feel like we're using Gainwell in the role that we would be using Caleb Johnson for. But in that Jets game, we also saw Caleb Johnson fumble on kickoff. So I'm like, okay, was that the byproduct of lack of ball security there? You don't get to get on offense? Fast forward a week and we see a similar situation, right? Hey, you turn it over, we don't see him anymore. I just think that that's part of what we're dealing with on top of it, man. But as much as I would love to just, go throw him out there. If you throw him out there and now that turnover is happening on offense, you still feel pissed with him. You're still going to feel upset. And now it's harder to justify because we're saying, well, what did he do to even surpass Kenneth Gainwell outside of him being a draft pick?
Yeah, the Yinzers will appreciate this shout out, Arthur. I've seen shades of Barry Foster. I guess a very similar instance happened back in the early 90s with him and the Steelers. So it's like I was seeing some parallels online last night. It was just a thought that I had, though, but in terms of flipping the roles, just because it's like when you invest high draft capital on a player, you want to see those players get on the field. Now we talk about
Gainwell's a return man. Gainwell, he does that. We've seen him.
Sawyer making a play yesterday. He's going to be relied on more because Alex Highsmith, the high ankle sprain, I'd assume he's going to be out for a few weeks. Man, what do we need to do to get Derek Carman back on the field? Just leave him in the cold tub until he just replenishes. We need him, Arthur. We need him on the defensive line.
This is the flip side. If you rush him back though, and now he's compromised and he's limited and he's not as athletic or as strong. Now we're going to look at him and say, hey, man, what's wrong with him? Why aren't you doing these things? And that's the double-edged sword. But that's also why when Cam was doing his hold in, why we was like, yo, that Harmon injury gives him a lot more leverage because he knows the personnel that's on this D-line. This is with Cam out there. Just imagine if he wasn't.
I don't want to live in that world,
God, dog. What? You mean to tell me this is with him out there? This is what we're doing? Jeez. Yeah.
Hey, shout out to Jalen Ramsey getting his first pick as a Steeler as well.
Absolutely.
I know JSN got the better half. JSN, Cooper Kupp got him a few times. Man. Cooper Kupp, I thought looked good. I thought Cooper looked good yesterday in terms of. I mean, when he was doing his thing with the Rams, Triple Crown. He seemed to find the fountain of youth a little bit yesterday too, but Patriots this upcoming week. It's come on, young quarterback and Drake May. This is where you get back to winning things. And I was just yesterday. It was the kick return. Really was just I hate to say one play loses you the game,
but it was weighted a little bit differently.
Yeah,
it for sure was. Now, like you said, it wasn't just that play, but that play did have, if we're doing the pie chart, right? that play did take up a lot more percentage than all of the other things just because of the timing of it and the direct result of it being points scored. But like I said, man, it's one game. And that's the thing that regardless of if you win or lose, as the player, you always go back to it's one game. Next week, it's one game. Even if you play great, it's one game because you can have your best game ever and you come out the next week pissed to bed. Think about if Boz, right? Boz hit from 56 and 60 last week. If he missed from 48, 52, and whatever the other one was, we'd be over here like, hey, bro, ooh, I don't know, man. Pay him. No, he's on that money, man. Don't pay him just yet. It's week to week. We know this. TJ Watt goes out there next week, gets 3 sacks, man. Everybody is like, that's why you pay him that money. That's why you do it. But the flip side, if he has another week where there's no sacks, that's going to get louder. I get it. He's triple teamed. I know they're schematically doing these things, but we still want results. We still want to be able to point to the numbers and say, he got sack, QB hit, he got forced fumble. We're not seeing any of that. So I get it. But that's definitely, how this is right now, man.
I like your meatball football fan voice, Arthur.
With all due respect, all right? With all due respect.
Yeah. The triple team is when the player that Sawyer made his sack. Go back and watch that. There is.
I already know.
It's not a hyperbole. There are 3 dudes on one on that play.
It's legit 3.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So keep an eye on that. I don't mind them moving him around a bit too.
I was about to say 2 weeks now.
They've been moving him around a little bit, but man, yeah, get back in the sack total in 6 games.
I'm torn.
People are just looking at the box
man.
score. Yeah, but the people are just looking at the box score. No, you've got to move. You've got to move him around.
You do, but this is why I say I'm torn. If it's a legitimate pass play, and I'm watching TJ Watt rush, left side versus right side, we all would agree, based on full body of work, he is the most productive on the left side. So when I'm watching him on one of the rare occasions where he's actually going to get a true drop back pass rush, and I'm watching a rush from the right side, and I'm like, bro, that ain't even your fire stuff that you dropping. You still look like you getting used to that all the way. I'm like, it frustrates me, man, because I feel like I'm wasting a rep. I feel like I'm wasting an opportunity. That's why I'm like torn, but I get the other side of it. You have to try to move this guy around because we feel like we can get more out of him that way. We talked about it. Heck, I brought up Micah Parsons and Myles Garrett, even Max Crosby, so I get it. But the frustrating thing is it just feels like maybe because those guys have done it more frequently, it comes off a little bit more smoother. Whereas right now, I feel like with TJ, it's almost like he's thinking about, okay, what do I want to do over here? Whereas when he's on the left side, it's set it and forget it. You know what's coming. Can you stop it? And you're probably not going to do it with one person. And if you do get lucky, you're not about to do that for the whole game. We know this. We've seen this. That's what the track record is over there. So that's the part where it's tough for me, man, to just watch it. I'm just like, God, man, come on.
I look at a lot of the charts too, where they'll show the chunk plays that an opposing offense will have against the Steelers team. It's always away from TJ Watt. I don't know if you noticed that.
Always away from him.
Never going to the right side. It's always either maybe the middle field or the left side of the field.
Because when you're playing against TJ, he's too fundamentally sound. His eyes are too good. His reaction time is too fast. So trying to do play action pass where, you're booting to him. Remember what I said, you can't get a run or you can't get a sack on a run play. It's because his eyes are too good for the boot. You're not going to boot him. The discipline part is staying put for the run and reacting back to the sack. But we know he makes headline plays, so that's what he's hunting. And we get it. It comes with the territory. That's the stuff where you're just like, okay, we get that part. But you watch him versus the run, it's like, man, you're not, even with the tight end, you can't run at him with the tight end. It has to be a tight end and something else coming over there because he's whooping that one-on-one. Even when you just try to just run to him with just a tackle over there, it's like his arms are too good. His technique is too good. He's coming off of those blocks, and it's a tackle for loss. We kicking a little bit of dirt up on you. That's what TJ does. So the flip side is you catch the other side where it's not always that consistent. Even though, man, those dudes make plays, it's just like one is TJ Watt. We know why TJ is who TJ is, and the others are the others. Because it's not always the same person over there, but that's the side that the rotation happens more of.
Yeah, and check the TFLs too, Arthur. I mean, I thought it was in the opener when J.J. Watt just slipped in there. The yards running at T.J. Watt and the yards away from her. It's like at least a full yard more running to the left side versus the right side at him. He's like, oh, and best in the NFL. When Watt tied the single season record, and the Yinzers will say he should have broken the record with Strahan, whatever. Not here to relitigate that. He still led the NFL in tackles for loss that season. It wasn't just the sacks. So it wasn't just, I'm going to sell out against the pass rush on every single play. It was being stout as a run defender as well.
Yeah, absolutely, man. And these are all the things TJ knows and all the things that he knows how to do and do at an extremely high level. So that's the thing where we are right now, where it's like, yeah, certain things keep being fundamentally sound. We know what you're chasing, but you still got to stay within the framework, within the confines of the defense in certain capacities. And then the other part is, if we are going to continue to move them around, you got to continue to work on your own in terms of getting more comfortable over there, because that's my big issue with it. I just don't want to feel like I'm wasting a TJ pass rush opportunity for the simple sake of saying I moved him around. I would much rather say, you know where he's at. Can you stop him, deal with everything that comes with that, versus, let me just move him around, because now it feels like when you brought up the offense and you said, well, we saw in the red zone, you throw it up to Darnell Washington and they couldn't stop it. Why, when we come back, we do different things? Let's not be cute. Until they can show that they can stop this and stop it every single time, man, keep rolling with that. And that's how I look at it. It's like, man, if their version of stopping is they have to send 3 dudes over there, well, that's why you're here, Jack Sawyer. That's why we drafted you. That's why you're here, Nick Herbig. That's why we drafted you. That's why we paid you Alex Highsmith. That's why we paid you Cam Hayward. And eventually when Derek Carmen comes back, that's why we drafted you in the first round also. But that's, part of when you lose, all of this feels like this, man. All of these conversations are valid, man. You know that.
The spin out Darnold had late in the game, he found his receiver on a key third down play. I think it was on the Seahawks scoring drive. They had Watt lined up over the left tackle, and then they stunned him. And it was like, I could see it where it's like, okay, but Darnold spun the exact way he needed to and found his guy downfield. And it's where you kind of got to compliment Seattle. It's like, it's just a good play. It was just a good play.
Absolutely.
But I'm with you with Watt. For me, Arthur, and to wrap this, is like, you're 1-1 right now. Where are you at after the first quarter? Where are you after the first 8 games? The 4-game chunks, I'm still used to a 16-game regular season. I know it's 17 now.
I'm still speaking that language, baby. Yeah. It's all
where are you
gravy.
at each quarter? So can you now try to go 3-1 in that first quarter? And then, that's up against New England. I'd imagine the Steelers, even on the road, will be favored, but we'll see. Like, I'm looking at, okay, you got to stop Diggs. Got an explosive running back out of Ohio State, Ramondre Stevenson, nice little 2-headed monster there. But like,
he runs kicks. He runs kickbacks too. Big body, bro. Yeah. Can you tackle the big man?
You just had to bring up the special teams, didn't you, Arthur? You just had to bring up special teams.
Hey, look, and he housed one. He housed one in the preseason. All right, okay, man. Hey.
It's there could be another
this
big
direction.
We're going for 3 straight weeks now where special teams plays huge when it comes to the outcome of football games. Huge.
Mark, this is what we need from Caleb Johnson. Go watch old school LeGarrette Blount tape. All right. LeGarrette Blount. He wasn't a 4.3 or 4.4. He wasn't a all-world return man coming out of college. But if you ever had to defend LeGarrette Blount running the kickoff back, good luck. Good luck. So I'm going to tell you, you over here like, I wish they threw a small, fast guy back there, because that big dude running 4.6 and you like, oh my, he mushing people. He running. You like, bro, you running this like this is 36 power. Like we running the trap like a counter. Like, no, bro, this is kickoff. Y'all supposed to run away from us, not try to run through us. That's what we want from Caleb Johnson, baby, all right? So I get it. Everybody that's out here like, hey, man, Caleb Johnson's a running back. Don't put him out there. Look up LeGarrette Blount, specifically LeGarrette Blount with the New England Patriots, okay? And then y'all come back to me and tell me why he can't be that running back, why he can't do that. Because we're not asking for anything other than just that right there. And I'm telling you, because I've defended against it, it's hell to deal with, man.
Sounds like you're still in pain.
you see why I wasn't tripping. I understood as soon as when they put Caleb Johnson back, I was like, oh, I know exactly what you're trying to do, but you got to actually live up to it and run that way.
Hey, at this point,
he don't run as angry right now. Yeah.
I say this as a fan. I'm not actually serious about this, Arthur. At this point, just throw Darnell Washington on kick return and see what happens. You know?
I'm like, bro, you too big to be just jogging, man. You don't have to be a blazer. You're plenty fast for what we're trying to accomplish with you.
We'll see, man. It's Again, if I were Caleb Johnson, stay off social media this week. Just stay off social media this week, and Sunday will be here soon enough.
Hey, look, just know we still love you, all right, Caleb? And I still love you, okay? We still love you. Okay. Hopefully everybody else still like they turn the page and shit. I think I still got love for you.
And it's
baby.
the reason why the Steelers don't put too much on their rookies too soon. There's times where we're chomping at the bit. And it's like, got to get this player on the field. He's got to make an impact. There's a reason. Once you become the starter and once you become a regular player, there's no going back to say, oh well, now I can go back to the bench now that once you're a starter, you're a starter.
When you get removed out of that role, we're finding new employment for you. We don't feel like you can stay here anymore. That was the Najee argument, and not even to harp back on it, but literally that's how we felt. It's like, you're not our backup guy. For that, we're going to go get somebody else in here. So if you're not the starter, if you're not the guy that we feel gives us the best chance, once you're in that role, baby, you're out of there. Goodbye. And so let's go, Caleb. Let's go, guys. Let's go.
Man.
But other than that, though, man, this is a good vibe, man. Any final thoughts? Are you good on everything, man? I kind of got what I needed off my chest, man. What you got? Anything?
Another week, man. Like I'm not trying to wish my life away, Arthur. I want to get to Sunday ASAP. It's just like there's just it's a bad taste in my mouth after the game, and it's like we're on to New England, to steal a line from their old coach, Bill Belichick. But that's a game I expect the Steelers to win. I expect the Steelers to take care of business at home. They've struggled in openers. I don't know. What are they, like 2-6 in their last 8 openers? So home openers, I'm talking.
Specifically, yeah. That's because they do good season openers on the road. It's just the home openers. Just home openers. It's like, no, I don't know what's going on here, man.
So. Yeah. So listen, man.
They got plenty of time now. All right. Won't see him back to it. October. No rush.
Yeah. So listen, I'll be looking forward to Sunday. We'll be back on. I'll have a preview of the game and just kind of breaking down what the Steelers need to do against the Patriots in week 3. And then we'll be back on Monday reacting to the game. So it's rinse and repeat. And I hope we're talking about a Steelers win. And what I want to see, get the running game going. And then another thing, let's allow fewer than 30 points. If the Steelers can accomplish 2 of those things, I think we'll be in more optimistic spirits when we do this again here next week, Arthur.
And then I'm going to just throw an honorable mention. Can we not have another 100+ yard runner as well, like against us? Just keep that part down too. Because it's not good. It's not good.
I can't. But other than that, if there's like an Arthur or Moats bingo card, like what are we doing? Like, I'm sure you have some slogans where it's like, get responsibility. I need to know what these are.
Like seriously. I'm like, fit, face in the fan. All right. Like this is simple stuff like that.
Yeah.
Witness, put your face in the fan. When that running back, that ball carrier is shoulder square going north and south, you don't get to move out the way or take that weird angle of, I just want to get on his back and then I could jump. No. I want you to put your face in the fans. So think about them old school fans. If you could take the cover off of it, right? And you got to decide, am I going to tackle this guy or am I not going to tackle this guy? Put your face in the fan. That's the decision you got to make, man. Because that's what it feels like. It's going to hurt. Certain parts of it is like, yo, this sucks. But you got to do it. Put your face in the fan, man. Don't blink. Put your face in the fan, all right? So that is how we are going to conclude today's show. But hopefully everybody enjoyed it. And if you did, hit the like button one time for the culture. And of course, don't forget to subscribe to either if you are new to the channel. As Mark said, man, we'll be back next week doing this again. And you already know, man, plenty of content dropping throughout the week, both live and pre-recorded, man. So tell a friend to tell a friend. But we do appreciate each and every one of you. Stay safe out there. And until next time, baby, peace.